I have an English challenge for you. You ready for an English challenge, guys? It's a sentence, all right? The sentence is, the ram rammed the ram. What does that sentence mean? I'll give you a second to think about it. The ram rammed the ram. Well, what do you notice? What are some things you notice about this sentence? Well, there are two nouns, right? And one verb. The ram rammed. That must be a verb, right? Every sentence has to have a verb. So the verb is always in that position, right? And like the second position there. First is the noun, the ram. We know that's a noun because of the word the, right? The tree, the flower, the man, the sky, the clouds, the means the next word is going to be a noun. The ram rammed, that's a verb. What does that mean? Rammed the ram. Why is the second ram capitalized? The first ram is lowercase, right? The R is lowercase. The second ram is capitalized. Do you capitalize words? You know, in our modern era of social media, the English language, especially English spelling, has just gone to pot. It's gone to pot, guys. Do you know what that means, gone to pot? That means it's gotten much worse. If something goes to pot, okay, let's say you live in a neighborhood, right? It's a nice clean neighborhood, and a few years later, you notice garbage everywhere. You could say, this neighborhood has gone to pot. Gone to pot. It means it's just gotten much worse. Like, to be honest, I'm from Calgary, and I used to live in a community in northeast Calgary called Redstone. And honestly, in the last few years, that community has gone to pot. That neighborhood has gone to pot. There's garbage everywhere there, guys. It's just garbage on the street, and it's gone to pot. I have my theories as to why it's gone to pot, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. That means that's not relevant to what I'm talking about now. This video is to teach you English, right? This video is not to discuss my theories about why Redstone went to pot. That's beside the point, right? So if you're talking and you're going over here this way, but you make a little side point, then you can say that's neither here nor there, because you don't want to keep talking about that, right? Then that's called a rabbit trail. You're going this way, I'm teaching you English. If I just mention a little theory, I don't want to go down that whole rabbit trail, right? I want to stay on this path to teach you English, this sentence, the ram rammed the ram. So I can say, I have my theories about why Redstone has gone to pot, but that's neither here nor there, okay? So that's a good phrase you can use to avoid rabbit trails. Okay, so yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, about spelling, particularly, you know, our social media, it's just destroyed the English language, right? Especially spelling. Very few people capitalize words anymore. Like, I'm often surprised, even... Here's some people, guys. gonna keep hiding in these bushes. So, you know, like very often when I'm, you know, talking to people in a professional situation, like let's say a bank, let's say I'm emailing a bank, or I'm emailing some business, or I don't know, I'm talking with someone through text, I'm often surprised at just how bad their English is, how unprofessional it is. Because if you're dealing with, let's say, your friends, that's one thing. You can use all lowercase letters, your grammar, punctuation. If you want to do that, if you want to use bad English with your friends, that's fine, right? But dealing in a professional sense, you know, it's really good to have proper English, proper capitalization, proper spelling, proper punctuation, like commas, you know, everything. It's important. At least it should be important. But our modern era of social media, you know, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and that stuff, it's really destroyed. It's destroyed the English language. I would say especially spelling and punctuation. People don't use punctuation these days. People don't use capitalization these days. Okay, so anyway, that's a side rant. This is my personal rant on how people don't use proper English anymore. But that's neither here nor there. This lesson is about teaching you this sentence: the ram rammed the ram. Okay, so we identified the verb is rammed. The first noun is ram. The second noun is ram. Why is that capitalized? Well, it's capitalized because it must be a proper noun, right? There are two kinds of nouns. There are common nouns, which are like tree, leaf, man, sky. Proper nouns are names of things, like a specific name, like a company name, or a person's name, like my name is Mark. The M is capitalized because it's a proper noun. Okay, the name of like a park. The noun park is just a common noun, right? There's a park, there's a park, there's a park. But if we say the name of the park, like Stanley Park, okay, then the S is capitalized and the P is capitalized. Stanley Park. Okay? So so with the ram, the word ram that's capitalized, that must be a proper noun. So it must be the name of something. A company name or a product, some special name. Okay, but the first one isn't. Right. So did you figure it out? Have you figured out the meaning of this sentence? So what does the word ram mean? A ram is a male sheep. A male sheep with like horns. Okay, that animal is called a ram. Did you know that? Smash that like button if you didn't know that. So a ram, a male sheep with horns, and you know they always, for some reason, they always are angry animals. They always want to butt everything. That's called like butting, right? Like let's say I'm a ram, and this is another ram. They're always like butting heads, right? They're butting heads. But also that motion is ramming. Okay, that's what it means to ram. That's a verb. If I run, okay, if I come running, I'm running and I ram into this tree. Okay, I could say I rammed into this tree. So that's what the verb means, to ram into something. Have you ever rammed into something? Maybe it was by accident. Maybe you were on your bike, you were biking and you were distracted. You were looking somewhere else. Maybe there was a super hot chick over there and you were distracted and you're biking and suddenly you didn't see a tree or a car or a house or something, and suddenly you rammed into the thing, right? Then you could tell your friends later, you could say, I was out on a bike ride and I was checking out this super hot chick, and I wasn't watching where I was going, and I rammed into a tree or whatever. Okay, so the first noun is ram, a male sheep with horns. The verb is rammed. Okay, now what's the second noun? Ram with a capital R. What does that mean? Ram. Well, there is a brand of vehicle here in North America called Dodge Caravan, Dodge Ram. So the Ram, Dodge, the name of the company is Dodge. They make a truck. Okay, they make a kind of like truck, like a pickup truck called a Ram. Okay, so their trucks are called Ram. It could be a Ram 1500 or a Ram 2500 or 3500, I think. So Dodge is most known for probably two vehicles. One is the Caravan. It's a very common kind of van. A lot of families buy Dodge Caravans. Okay, another kind of probably the second most common vehicle that people know about Dodge is their truck, and that's called the Ram. Okay, so the Ram, 1500, like I said. So that, if we're going to write that in a sentence, that's going to be capitalized, right? Why? Well, because it's the, it's the name of the, it's like the brand. Okay, it's the brand. So if you're writing, let's say, Dodge Caravan, well, that's the specific name of that vehicle, right? A van, just a normal van, that's a common noun, like car, right? Car is a common noun, van is a common noun, truck. But if we're talking about a specific kind of car, like the Toyota Corolla, then the T for Toyota is capitalized and the C for Corolla. Toyota Corolla. So in this case, Dodge Ram, both the D and the R are capitalized. Now, if we don't want to say the word Dodge, let's say you're talking to your friend, I bought a new Ram 1500. Okay, a Ram 1500. Well, you're talking about the name of that car, so it should be capitalized. Just like if you tell your friend, I bought a Corolla, or I bought, what's your favorite kind of car, guys? Let me know what kind of vehicle would you like to buy if you had unlimited money. Okay, it could be I don't know, a Range Rover. That's the brand, the name, Range Rover. What are their vehicles? I don't know. Range Rover's too expensive for me, guys. I haven't really looked much at Range Rovers. But you get my point, right? The names of the companies are, it's supposed to be capitalized. A lot of people don't, but it's supposed to be. Like, if, for example, if you're talking about the company Coca-Cola, well, that should be capitalized. But if you're just talking to your friends, hey, can you grab me a Coke? Nobody capitalizes that, right? But it should be capitalized, right? So in this sentence, the Ram rammed the Ram, it can really only mean one thing. It means the sheep, the male sheep, rammed the truck, the Ram. All right, so that's the answer. The sheep rammed the Ram. Now, if the first Ram were capitalized and the second one were also capitalized, that would mean the truck hit the truck, right? The Ram rammed the ram. Two trucks, you know, one truck hit the other truck. Now, if the first is capitalized, but the second ram is not capitalized, that would mean the truck hit the sheep. The ram rammed the sheep, right? If you look at the logo of a Dodge Ram, if you look at the front, right, there's the logo of the Ram's head. So that's why they call it the Ram, the Dodge Ram, because they named their truck after the animal, right? It's not the other way around. The animal didn't get named after the truck, or the verb ram. It has nothing to do with the truck. It has to do with the animal, because the animal has been here for thousands of years. The truck, I don't know. How long have Dodge Rams been around for? Probably, you know, maybe 100 years or something like that. Okay, so the sheep came first, right? So yeah, so like if both the rams were lowercase, that would mean one sheep hits another sheep. The ram rammed the ram. Okay, so ram can have both of those meanings. Now, there's another word, ram, that's commonly used. Like if you're talking about computers or cell phones, people might say, oh, this computer has this much RAM. This computer is better than that computer because it has more RAM. What does that mean? Well, that's not a word. That's an acronym. Okay? RAM, in that case, stands for random access memory. So that's 3 words. That's a completely different idea. Okay? So it's not a word, it's an acronym. R stands for random, A stands for access, and M stands for memory. But very often when people say acronyms, they just say it as a word rather than like each letter, like R-A-M. Instead of saying R-A-M, they just say RAM, right? So those are basically the 3, you know, one's the animal, one's the truck, and that's capitalized. For RAM, the computer kind of RAM, that probably should be all capitalized, maybe with a period in between each letter. R-A-M, like kind of like the word USA. If you want to write USA, do you write it with a period in between each letter, or do you just write it USA? You know, there's different ways to do it. You know, it's not good to be too picky in English, but it's better to it makes it easier to read if you use proper rules. Like very often people write the US. Like let's say this is a good example. If they're talking about the US, right? America, the USA. Very often people don't use the A, they just say the US. Well, if you don't capitalize U and S, and if you don't put a dot there, well, then it just looks like us. So sometimes people would say, I'm going to US, but if they don't capitalize it, it just looks like I'm going to us. I'm going to us? What does that mean? I'm going to us? No, it should be, I'm going to the US. Capitalized, probably with a period in between there. Okay? So what's the whole reason for rules? Like capitalization rules, punctuation. What's the reason for it? The reason is to make communication clear, right? So you can avoid miscommunications, right? So, you know, so with this sentence, the ram rammed the ram, like if a person has bad spelling, you know, right, and they just write everything with lowercase, they might mean the sheep hit the sheep, they might mean the truck hit the truck, they might mean the sheep hit the truck, or they might mean the truck hit the sheep. How do you know? You don't, unless they actually use proper rule, like follow the rules, because then at least you can guess, at least you have a better idea, right? Now, if you didn't know that if you don't know the names of vehicles, I mean, will you understand this challenge? Probably not. No, you wouldn't understand it. Is it important to know the names of vehicles? Well, the more you know in English, the more you will understand, right? The more facts about life like the more you know the names of vehicles, the brands of vehicles, the more you know the names of plants even. What kind of tree is this? I don't know. But would it be good if I did know? Well, yeah, it would. There might be a situation where I'm talking to someone and they're talking about trees and they use the name of this tree. Then I know what they're talking about. If I don't know the name of this tree, well, then I won't know what they're talking about. I could probably guess. I'll know they're talking about trees, but I don't know what kind of trees. I can't visualize it, right? So the more knowledge you have about the world, about North American brands, like even medicine, for example. I've heard a lot of immigrants. They might talk about taking a medicine for their headache, maybe paracetamol. Well, we don't have paracetamol here. We have brands like Advil or acetaminophen. They might be the same thing, it's just with a different name. Drug companies, I don't know why they do that. In one company they name their product this, and in the other country they name their product a different name. Why? Why not just keep it all the same name? But car companies do that too. Like, for example, Toyota, so Toyota has a vehicle called the Prado. The Toyota, what is it? I don't know. In Thailand and in the Asian countries, they have a vehicle that we don't have here. It's called the Prado, but it's basically I think the Sequoia. I think it's either the Forerunner or I don't know, or is it the Land Cruiser? The Land Cruiser Prado. I don't know, guys. These things are a little bit confusing, right? Like here in North America, Toyota, their SUV lineup is a little bit confusing now. They used to have the Forerunner. That was like their kind of outdoors SUV. And then the bigger version, it was called the Sequoia. The Sequoia is the name of a large tree, like the largest tree in the world. In California, they have the sequoias, right? So that's another helpful thing. If you know the name of if you know why Toyota named their truck Sequoia, like if you know what the name of the tree Sequoia, then you know, oh yeah, that's why Toyota named their largest SUV Sequoia. It makes sense, right? Then you can just make those small connections in your mind, right? And then a little bit lower than the Forerunner here in North America is an SUV they call the Highlander. Okay, but they introduced a new one this year called the Land Cruiser, which they used to sell here in North America. So it's confusing. Now the Land Cruiser sits, I think, a bit above the Highlander, and it's like between the Highlander and the Forerunner. I don't know, guys. These things are confusing. I don't want to bore you with the names of vehicles, right? But it's just a small, it's a small example of how the more knowledge you have, the easier it is to understand English. The easier it is to understand any language, right? The names of medicine, the names of vehicles, the names of anything, cities, provinces. Very often I tell people I'm from Calgary and they don't know where that is. So then I have to explain it. Well, it's in Alberta. Someone recently asked me, what's the difference between Calgary and Alberta? And I said, Calgary is the city, Alberta is the province, right? So if you don't know that, well, it means you won't understand as much, right? And then, but it's okay to not understand things. You can ask questions, right? What is Calgary? What is that? Oh, it's a city. Okay. Or if you don't understand my challenge, RAM, why is that one capitalized? You could just ask, what's a RAM? What does that mean? Why is RAM capitalized? That's the nice thing about asking questions, guys. You know, in life, we can't know everything. So that's why we have to ask questions. That's why kids always ask questions. What's this? What's that? Why? Why is that happen? Why is this? You know, because they want to learn, right? So it's okay if you don't know everything, especially about English. Just try to learn, and that's why I try to teach you guys, right? That's why you watch my channel. So hopefully you learn something new here in this challenge. That's it, guys. Hope you have a great day. As always, I love you so much. And well, from here in overcast Canada, right? This country, Canada is the name of a country. It's not a province. It's not a city. It's a country, guys. From here in overcast green. Look how green it is here, guys. It's beautiful. So anyway, guys, from my country and my heart to your heart, I wish you a great day. And as always, I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.